Okay, so today we're going to be diving into India's EV revolution.
Right.
You sent over some really fascinating articles and research on this.
Yeah.
And I got to say, it's really exciting stuff. This is not just about cars.
Yeah, no.
This is about India's ambition to kind of become a global EV powerhouse, you know?
Yeah, it's really a fascinating case study. It touches on economics and technology, even geopolitics.
Right, exactly. And, India's EV market is already growing so rapidly. But what's really interesting is the government is making this big push for homegrown innovation.
Oh, yeah.
So we're going to break down their strategy,
Okay.
focus on their key initiatives, and really explore, what does this mean for India and the world?
Sounds good.
Yeah.
I'm eager to see what you've uncovered.
All right, so first off, we need to talk about the brains behind this whole operation.
Okay.
The Anusandhan National Research Foundation.
Yes.
Or ANRF.
The ANRF, right?
Yeah.
Established just last year in 2023 and spearheaded by Prime Minister Modi himself.
Wow.
It really underscores the importance India is placing on this.
Yeah.
The ANRF is tasked with guiding research and development,
Okay.
boosting local manufacturing, and ultimately aiming to reduce reliance on foreign,
Okay.
particularly Chinese supply chains.
So it's not just some faceless agency either.
No,
Having Modi at the helm definitely makes a statement.
it does.
But does his involvement actually translate into tangible action?
Yeah,
Or is it more symbolic?
that's a great question. I think it's a bit of both.
Okay.
Modi's involvement definitely raises the profile of the initiative, attracts attention.
Yeah.
But more importantly, it seems to have unlocked resources
Right.
and expedited decision-making.
Got it.
We're seeing real investment flowing into R&D and manufacturing, and that's concrete evidence of commitment.
Okay, so real action, not just talk.
Yeah.
That's good to hear. What I find really interesting is this approach of partnering with universities and research institutions.
Yes.
Can you tell me more about these initiatives, MAHAEV and PMECRG?
You're right. That is an interesting angle.
Yeah.
It seems India is betting on a different horse than,
Oh,
say,
yeah.
the U.S. or China, who are heavily reliant on private companies.
Right.
MAHAEV, which stands for Mission on Advanced and High Impact Electric Mobility,
Okay.
is focused on developing key EV technologies. Think things like batteries designed to withstand India's tropical climate,
Oh, interesting.
power electronics,
Okay.
and of course, charging infrastructure.
So sort of like a national EV task force?
Exactly. Then you
Oh.
have PMECRG,
Right.
the Prime Minister's Energy and Climate Research Group.
Okay.
This one's all about empowering young researchers
Got it.
to tackle these challenges, nurturing the next generation of EV innovators.
Okay, so it's a long-term strategy. Building up expertise within India. But let's be honest,
Sure.
research needs funding.
Yes.
Are they putting their money where their mouth is?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay, good.
The government has pledged a whopping
All right.
14,000 crore,
Wow.
roughly $1.7 billion USD,
Okay.
over 5 years to support homegrown EV technology.
That's a lot of money.
It's a substantial investment and signals their seriousness about this initiative.
Okay, that's impressive.
Yeah.
But it's not just about throwing money at the problem, right?
No.
Where is this funding being directed?
They've identified 3 main areas:
Okay.
battery technology, power electronics,
Okay.
and charging infrastructure.
All right, so it seems pretty strategic.
Yeah.
Focusing on the core components of a successful EV ecosystem.
Exactly.
Smart, right? Those are the foundational elements for sure. But we know that India currently relies heavily on China for lithium-ion batteries, right?
Yes, that's a major hurdle they need to overcome. Over 70% of their lithium-ion batteries are imported,
Oh.
primarily from China.
Wow.
Just last year, in 2023, India's battery import bill reached $2.1 billion USD.
Ouch.
That's a lot of money flowing out of the country,
Yeah, that's not sustainable if they want to be self-reliant.
right?
So what's the plan? How are they going to tackle this battery dependence?
Well, the ANRF is aggressively promoting local battery production.
Sure.
They're forging partnerships with both industry giants and academic institutions to try to solve this puzzle.
So it sounds like they're pulling out all the stops.
Yeah.
But what kind of batteries are they focusing on?
They seem to be placing a lot of faith in lithium iron phosphate batteries,
Okay.
known as LFP batteries.
LFP. Why those in particular?
Well, they have some distinct advantages. First, they're generally considered safer than other lithium-ion batteries, which is a big plus.
Yeah.
Second, they boast a longer lifespan, meaning they don't need to be replaced as often. And third, they're more cost-effective.
Gotcha.
Which is a crucial factor in a price-sensitive market like India.
So they tick a lot of boxes for the Indian market.
They do.
Sounds like a winning combination.
Yeah.
But is everyone on board with this LFP strategy?
Well, some argue that India might be missing out on the cutting edge by not focusing more on nickel, manganese, cobalt batteries. These are the ones favored by many Western automakers.
Interesting point. So why aren't they going all in on these NMC batteries then?
Good question. There are a couple of reasons. First, NMC batteries are more expensive to produce. And that cost difference could be a deterrent in the Indian market.
Right.
Second, the raw materials for NMC batteries are often sourced from regions with geopolitical instability.
Gotcha.
Or questionable mining practices.
Oh, so it's not just about the technology itself, but also about securing a reliable and, dare I say, ethical supply chain.
Exactly. It's a complex equation.
Yeah, it sounds like it. So if LFP is the front runner, are they exploring any other alternative battery technologies?
Yes, they are. India is also looking into sodium-ion batteries.
Wow.
They see it as a way to reduce reliance on lithium, which is a finite resource and often sourced from, shall we say, challenging locations.
Right, sodium-ion batteries. That's not something I hear every day.
Yeah.
Are those a viable alternative or more of a long shot?
That's the million-dollar question.
Yeah.
It's still early days. There's definite potential. One Indian company, KPIT Technologies, has already developed sodium-ion batteries with applications beyond just EVs.
Wow.
They could be used for stationary energy storage, for example.
Oh, interesting.
Providing backup power to homes and businesses.
So this could be a game changer if it pans out.
It could indeed.
Yeah.
Sodium is much more abundant and easier to source than lithium.
Right.
So it could be a more sustainable option in the long run.
Okay.
However, there are still some technical hurdles to overcome. Before sodium-ion batteries can truly compete with lithium-ion in terms of energy density and performance.
Got it. So it's one to watch for sure.
Yeah, definitely.
But even with all this talk about new battery technologies, we can't forget about scaling up production.
Absolutely.
You know, India needs to be able to actually manufacture these batteries in large quantities.
Yeah.
If they want to achieve their goals, right?
That's the next big challenge. They need factories, infrastructure, and trained workers. This is where the Production-Linked Incentive Scheme, or PLI scheme, comes into play.
Tell me more about this PLI scheme. How does it work?
Essentially, it's a system of financial incentives designed to encourage domestic manufacturing.
Got it.
The government has allocated 18,000 crore. That's about $2.2 billion USD. Over 5 years to specifically boost the production of advanced chemistry cells, or ACCs. These are the building blocks of modern high-tech batteries.
Interesting. So by offering these incentives, they're hoping to attract investment and jumpstart the industry.
Exactly.
Okay, makes sense. What's the target production capacity they're aiming for?
Their goal is to reach a production capacity of 50 gigaW.
50 gigaW. Wow.
That's a lot of batteries.
Yeah.
Enough to potentially power millions of EVs.
That shows how serious they are about becoming a major player in this global battery market.
Yeah.
But even with all these batteries, they need somewhere to charge them, right?
You're absolutely right.
We can't forget about the charging infrastructure.
Building a robust charging network is crucial to the success of any EV revolution. The ANRF has a vision for a nationwide charging network with a target of a whopping 1.32 million charging stations by 2030.
1.32 million. That's a mind-boggling number.
Yeah.
How on earth are they going to manage that, especially in a country as vast and diverse as India?
It's a monumental undertaking, no doubt.
Yeah.
It will require overcoming logistical hurdles, navigating complex regulations, and of course securing massive investments.
Right, because building out that kind of charging network has got to be incredibly expensive.
Yes.
So how are they planning to finance this ambitious project?
Well, that's where things get really interesting. They're getting creative with their financing models. They're exploring public-private partnerships, revenue-sharing agreements, and even tapping into corporate social responsibility funds.
Wow, those are some innovative approaches. It sounds like they're really thinking outside the box.
They are.
Can you give me a specific example of how these models are being put into practice?
Sure. Tata Power, one of India's largest energy companies, has partnered with NERDCO, a real estate developers association, to install 5,000 charging points across the state of Maharashtra. They're leveraging the expertise and resources of both the public and private sectors. To make it happen, it's a great example of collaborative innovation.
So collaboration seems to be a key part of their strategy.
It is.
But even with innovative financing, there are bound to be other challenges, right? I mean, India is a huge country with a lot of variation in terms of geography, infrastructure, and even electricity access.
Absolutely. Rolling out a nationwide charging network will require careful planning, adapting to local conditions, and addressing concerns about grid capacity and energy security.
Right. It's not just about installing chargers. It's about creating a whole ecosystem that makes EV charging accessible, affordable, and reliable. It sounds like this project is about much more than just plugging in a car. It's about transforming an entire industry and potentially a way of life.
I think you've hit the nail on the head. This isn't just about technology. It's about societal change.
This is a truly fascinating story.
It is.
And we've only just scratched the surface. But for now, let's take a pause here. When we come back, we'll delve deeper into the potential global impact of India's EV push. And explore the challenges and opportunities that lie ahead.
Sounds good.
Stay tuned. Welcome back.
So we're continuing our exploration of India's EV revolution. And it's becoming clear that this is more than just like a domestic affair.
Absolutely. India's ambitions have the potential to disrupt the global EV landscape, especially when it comes to challenging China's current dominance.
All right, so let's talk geopolitics for a minute. China's like the big kid on the EV block right now, particularly with batteries. How could India's push for self-reliance kind of shake things up?
Well, it all boils down to competition. Many countries rely heavily on China for EV components, giving them a significant advantage, perhaps even too much leverage. If India successfully develops its own EV supply chain.
It could offer an alternative for those countries who are looking to diversify and reduce their dependence on China.
So it's like a breath of fresh air for the global market.
Exactly.
Reducing the reliance on a single player.
More competition generally leads to innovation and better prices, which benefits everyone in the long run. It also makes the global EV market more resilient to any potential disruptions like trade wars or political instability.
That makes sense. But wouldn't India be playing catch up for a while? China has a significant head start in EV technology.
China has invested heavily in research and development, but India is catching up quickly. Their focus on innovations like tropicalized batteries, which we discussed earlier, and their exploration of sodium-ion technology could lead to breakthroughs that ripple across the entire industry.
So they're not just copying what China's doing, they're forging their own path. Potentially like leapfrogging in certain areas.
Precisely. And remember their focus on academia. That could pay off big time by nurturing a culture of innovation and supporting young researchers. India could become a hotbed for EV advancements that benefit the entire world.
It's exciting to think about the possibilities. But let's be realistic for a second. Are you really optimistic about India achieving these ambitious goals? What are some of the potential roadblocks?
While their ambition is commendable, this is a massive undertaking, and challenges are inevitable. Scaling up production quickly and efficiently while maintaining quality and keeping costs competitive will be a major hurdle. It's not just about building factories. It's about creating a whole ecosystem that supports a thriving EV industry.
Everything from sourcing raw materials to having enough skilled workers, to ensuring a smooth supply chain.
Exactly. They also need to address consumer concerns. about things like range anxiety, affordability, and safety.
Right.
Education and public awareness campaigns will be crucial in driving adoption.
And of course, we can't forget about the infrastructure challenges, especially building out that nationwide charging network.
Right.
Are there any historical parallels or lessons they can learn from other countries that have gone through similar EV transitions?
Definitely looking at China's own EV rollout, or even Norway's rapid adoption of EVs, can offer valuable insights. Learning from their successes, and more importantly, their mistakes, can help India anticipate potential problems and adapt their strategy accordingly.
So it's a steep learning curve, but they don't have to reinvent the wheel completely.
Exactly. The key is to be adaptable, learn from others, and tailor their approach to India's unique circumstances.
Okay, so let's say they navigate all these challenges successfully.
All right.
What are the potential rewards for India?
The rewards could be transformative.
Yeah?
We're talking about the creation of millions of jobs, a boost to their economy, reduced reliance on fossil fuels, and cleaner air for their cities.
So it's a win-win for the environment and the economy.
It is. Success could also enhance India's standing on the world stage, positioning them as a leader in sustainable technology.
That's a pretty compelling vision. It sounds like a win-win for India and the planet.
Indeed, but beyond the economic and geopolitical implications, there's also the human element. Ultimately, this is about improving the lives of people in India and around the world.
Imagine the bustling streets of Delhi or Mumbai, filled with electric vehicles instead of noisy, polluting gas guzzlers.
Right.
Kind of paints a picture.
It does. A future where people breathe cleaner air, commute more efficiently, and enjoy higher quality of life. And perhaps it inspires other developing nations to follow suit.
So India's EV push is more than just about cars or technology. It's a potential blueprint for a cleaner, more sustainable future.
Precisely. It's a future worth striving for.
Okay, before we get too carried away dreaming about a utopian electric future, let's step back and look at the reality on the ground. Who are the major players driving this EV revolution in India?
Well, we have established automakers like Tata Motors and Mahindra who are investing heavily in EV production, developing new models and building factories.
I understand there's a whole new wave of startups jumping on the EV bandwagon too.
Absolutely. Companies like Ather Energy and Ola Electric are bringing fresh ideas and innovative designs to the market, challenging the status quo.
So a good mix of established players and new blood?
Yeah.
What about the other parts of the EV ecosystem? Are there companies focusing on the batteries and the charging infrastructure?
We have companies like Exide Industries and Amara Raja Batteries taking the lead on battery production.
Got it.
And for the charging network, companies like Tata Power and Magenta Charge are building out the infrastructure and experimenting with different business models.
So it seems like a dynamic and rapidly evolving landscape.
It is.
But with so many players jostling for position, what are some of the potential pitfalls they need to be wary of?
One major challenge will be managing the transition from traditional combustion engine vehicles to EVs. It's not just about building new cars. It's about creating an entire ecosystem to support them.
Ensuring adequate charging infrastructure, training mechanics who are familiar with EVs, and establishing a reliable supply chain.
Exactly. They also need to address consumer concerns about range, affordability and safety. Public perception and education will be crucial in driving widespread adoption.
So it's a complex equation with a lot of moving parts.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on how India can best navigate this transition?
I think the key is to prioritize collaboration and knowledge sharing. Learning from the experiences of other countries, engaging with industry experts, and fostering a spirit of partnership between the public and private sectors will be essential.
So it's not a solo mission, it's a team effort.
Exactly. And the stakes are high. The choices India makes today will have a profound impact on the future of transportation. Not just within their borders, but around the world.
It's a fascinating story unfolding in real time.
It is.
But we're going to have to leave it there for now. When we come back in the final part of our deep dive, we'll explore the potential long-term impacts of India's EV ambitions on the global stage.
All right.
Don't go anywhere.
Okay.
All right, welcome back to our final part of our deep dive into India's EV revolution. So, we've covered a lot. We talked about government initiatives. We talked about challenges of building this homegrown industry. Now I want to kind of zoom out and look at the bigger picture.
It is fascinating to consider how these individual efforts, the companies, the technologies, all contribute to this larger narrative.
Yeah.
It's almost like watching a tapestry being woven thread by thread.
I love that analogy. So what kind of patterns are emerging?
Well, if India can successfully navigate these challenges, they have the potential to become a major force in the global EV market.
Okay, so paint me a picture. What does a successful Indian EV ecosystem look like, say, 10 years from now?
Imagine bustling Indian cities with drastically reduced air pollution. Streets once choked with exhaust fumes are now filled with quiet, efficient EVs.
I'm picturing it. Okay, what about beyond India's borders?
India could become a key exporter of EVs and EV components.
Oh, wow.
Particularly to other developing nations in Asia, Africa, and Latin America.
So they become a model for other countries looking to jump on the EV bandwagon.
Exactly. They could provide not just vehicles, but also expertise technology and even financing models for building sustainable transportation systems.
That's amazing. That would be a remarkable shift in the global landscape. It's almost like a parallel EV universe is emerging.
Right.
One that's not solely dominated by the established players.
Yeah, that's a great way to put it. India has the opportunity to rewrite the rules of the game, create a more inclusive and equitable EV ecosystem.
That's exciting, but let's be real for a second. It's not going to be smooth sailing.
Of course not.
What are some potential roadblocks they might encounter on this journey?
Well, maintaining momentum is crucial.
Okay.
Political will and consistent policy support will be essential to keep the investments flowing and the industry growing.
So no sudden policy U-turns or bureaucratic hurdles.
Exactly. That can really derail progress.
Yeah, for sure. Another challenge will be attracting and retaining top talent. Right. They need skilled engineers, researchers and entrepreneurs to drive innovation and keep India at the forefront of the EV revolution.
Absolutely, because brain drain could be a real issue if those bright minds are lured away by opportunities in other countries.
Right, exactly. And of course, geopolitical factors always play a role.
Of course.
Global economic trends, trade agreements, even resource scarcity.
Yeah.
All of these things can impact India's ability to achieve its EV ambitions.
It's not just about what happens within India. It's about navigating a complex and ever-changing global landscape.
Okay, so it's like a giant game of chess where every move has consequences.
Precisely.
Speaking of moves, what should our listener be paying attention to in the coming months and years to gauge India's progress?
Okay.
What are the key indicators?
Keep an eye on the growth of their domestic EV market.
Okay.
Are sales increasing? Are new models being introduced? Are charging stations popping up everywhere?
So tangible signs of progress on the ground.
Exactly. Also watch for any major investments or partnerships being announced. Are international companies setting up shop in India? Are joint ventures being formed? These are signals of confidence in India's potential.
And what about on the technology front, any specific developments to watch out for?
Keep an eye on the battery sector.
Okay.
Any breakthroughs in battery technology, whether it's advancements in LFP, sodium ion, or even something completely new, could have a major impact.
So battery tech is a key area to monitor. It sounds like India's EV journey is a story that's still being written with many twists and turns ahead.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It's a dynamic and unpredictable landscape.
Yeah.
But one thing's for sure, India is a force to be reckoned with.
Well, this has been an amazing deep dive. I've learned so much. Thank you so much for joining me and sharing your expertise.
My pleasure. It was great to be here.
And to all of our listeners out there, thanks for tuning in. We'll see you.